The Detroit Lions did feel a position of need yesterday, trading up a couple of spots, 5 spots to be exact, and taking what they perceived to be the best cornerback in the NFL draft. And while last night it seemed like I was upset with the pick, I am not. I like this pick. It's a good pick. It's a position of need. I am just waiting on the pass rush to be solidified more than it's been before. So my reaction had zero to do with Terrion. I think he's got the skill and the talent, but I'm still worried about that defensive line. And hopefully that changes tonight, and that is the purpose of this video. The Detroit Lions traded pick 72, so they no longer at this moment have a third-round pick. So after picking 61, they don't pick again until 164. So there will be 103 spots between draft picks, assuming Brad doesn't trade up. So my question to you is this going to be the night that the Detroit Lions decide to take a pass rusher? None in the first round. They now have no third-round pick, so what are they going to do? We started the draft with 7 picks. I remember in 2021, we started with 5, we ended with 7. Last year, we started with 7 to 9, and then we ended up with 5 or 6. I can't remember trading up to get Broderick Martin. And then the end of the draft was Kobe Sorsdahl in the 5th round and then Antoine Green in the 7th, right? And those two gentlemen didn't get much playing time in 2023. But if Brad Holmes doesn't take one at 61, what are we going to do when it comes to the other draft picks? Because, again, we don't – let me bring in Taken-Thon real quick so you guys can check it out. All right, so this has not been updated. We traded up here. In trading up, we did receive an additional pick in the 7th round. I believe it's this year. It could be next year, but I believe it is this year. We take Terrion Arnold at 24. We now have 61. We no longer have 73. I believe that we have 64, 201, 205, and then we have 2 in the 7th round, right? So what could Brad Holmes do when it comes to getting a pass rusher? We still need, now that we've taken Terrion, I don't see us taking a cornerback anywhere else. Could we take a safety? So that turns center still, he's not going to be on the team. Could we take, Corum is also out the window as well, unless Brad really, really wanted him. But those two positions I'm not really concerned about, because there are some guys in free agency in the safety position that we could sign. But here's an article from Tim Twentyman, came out a little while ago, and here is 10 prospects who can interest the Lions on day 2. And this is perfect timing because I was actually going to look and see who was left and go from there and make a video about it. You have defensive tackle Jerzon Newton from Illinois. We have offensive lineman Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. We did make a video talking about him. Keon Coleman is in the 2nd round, Florida State, wide receiver. So right now we're talking about a defensive tackle, which we have 2 of those already. We signed one in free agency. We have Broderick Martin, and I'm only talking, I know we have more than that, but I'm just speaking on, like, you traded up to get Broderick Martin, right? And a lot of you think that he's going to have a leapfrog year, that he's just going to jump this year. If that's the case, do we really need another defensive tackle? Wide receiver, we could use one. Marshawn Nealon. These next 2 guys, especially Marshawn, I could see him being a guy that the Detroit Lions are looking at. Brayton Fisk, a lot of people like him, defensive tackle, Florida State. Last 5 would be Cooper Beebe, Kansas City, another offensive lineman. Adonai Mitchell from Texas. I know the Dern is really fond of him. When could he go? Zach Frazier, another interior offensive lineman. And the last 2 are Javon Bullard. We talked about that, safety out of Georgia. And Ladd McConley, a wide receiver. So in this entire thing, there's one defensive end, which is Marshawn Nealon, that could interest the Detroit Lions. So out of this 10, Tim Twentyman has a bunch of O-linemen. How many offensive players do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I counted correctly, we have 7 offensive players. Now again, I want you guys to realize this. I'm okay with the pick. Last night was immediately, I hear, okay, Mr. Arnold. I'm like, all right, what I hear is 3rd round pick. That's what I hear. Okay, now, and then I start thinking, okay, 3rd round pick. We gave up both of our 3rd round picks for cornerbacks, right? Not mad at the pick, but I'm just thinking, okay, now what? Defensive line is still the same as it was when we went into the draft. So if we want to make that better than it already is right now, yes, including DJ Reader, yes, including Matthew Betts, yes, including James Houston. And I wanted to say something about James Houston as well. If James Houston was the pass rusher, according to the Lions, that you think he is, why in the world would he be on special teams? We have never put Jamison Williams on special teams. We have never put Jahmyr Gibbs on special teams. If James Houston was the pass rusher you think he is, he would not step foot on special teams. You will never. You know what? I take that back. You might see Hutchinson on special teams. I would sincerely doubt it that you would see. I think we've seen Kaminsky out there, right? Maybe. I just don't see us putting a star, which I don't think he's a star, but you guys do, right? So therefore, what my thing is this. Brad, that's why we're talking about cooking in this video. That's why it's a chef's hat, right? On the thumbnail. Because he has to cook. Remember he said what he said about the later half of the first round. He likes this. Gave up. Now, after we don't pick for 103 picks, so now we're talking about we might end up out of this draft with 4 players. 4 players is what we might end up with. In addition to that, is it time for Brad to start trading next year's picks as well? We talked about it at the trade deadline. A lot of you weren't happy. I talked about a first-round pick. Are the Detroit Lions at a point where they can trade for a first-round pick? Now, I'm at the point right here where I want my phone distracted me. I just want somebody to get to the quarterback. And understand what y'all saying. Again, this is not about Terrion, okay? It's not about Terrion at all. But it's about getting to the quarterback. It's about helping those receivers out or those cornerbacks out. It's about time. So Brad is going to have to work something out today. He's going to have to work something out today. That's for sure. So we will be live today all day. We will be live tomorrow all day. So make sure you consider coming by, saying hi, stopping by the channel, subscribe if you feel necessary. I'm going to always be honest, brutally, like you guys are in the comment section. I got worse kickback from Jamison Williams. It's not that I've always talked about our defense. That's all I've talked about. And now we're making it better, right? We are doing that. There's no doubt about that. But now it's time. And the resources are limited. That is my frustration. Resources are limited. When we had the resources, we used them on a Broderick Martin. And no matter what you guys say in the comment section, those are the facts. While we're blowing a 17-point lead, that dude is on the bench. We can't have that again. This person needs to come in and make a difference, period. If we're going to catapult in defense, I need a top 15 minimum defense. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Aaron Glenn has his pieces. By the time we start the season, AG will have his pieces. And not a single one of you will complain about Aaron Glenn if the defense lacks. I promise you that. It's a lot of Lions love going around, but that love gonna cease if our defense ranked in the bottom third of the league. If with Terrion Arnold, if our pass defense is less than 21, y'all gonna have a problem. And somebody is gonna have to pay for that. So we got that secondary stout, and we still not done. There's a couple guys in free agency. The secondary stout, bruh. It's time to shift and get that D-line right. Hutch still don't have no. Marcus Davenport, please stop it. Just stop. So let me know in the comments below. What do you expect today? Who would you like to see? Don't forget, we have 1 pick today. That's it. 1 pick, and it's in the second round. So the third round, unless Brad trades up, we're not going to have anything to do except watch people fly off the board. So let me know what do you see Brad doing today? But whatever happens, he got to cook now. You had the resources last year. You wasted them on Broderick Martin. It's time to cook. Use that ingredients, bro. This what he made for, right? He built for this. Get this pass rush right. Hutch still doesn't have a guy. Still. right? Now, if you're talking about we going to trade next year's first because we supposed to be going to the Super Bowl, right? You talking about we going to trade next year first for Trey Hendrickson, then sign me up. Okay, all is well in the land of Honolulu Blue. And pour me a nice helping of Kool-Aid. It's time. That's it. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. Hopefully, I'll see you tonight. And as always, go Lions. It feels weird, man, with no graphics at all. It's just me sitting in my basement talking about my favorite team. It feels very weird, but at least I get to use my hands. Couldn't do that. See you tonight.